Stephen. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Next speaker is Jim Thompson. Oh, thank you, sir.
I'm interested to hear more about the study, of improving the downtown, everything. My question, I've lived in downtown for over 35 years. My taxes have just gone up another $200. I live across from one of the most beautiful parks in town, Elwood Park, which people come downtown to see, from out of town to enjoy. But we've had criminal activity, drunkenness, riffraff there. No one's going to come downtown with that kind of clientele downtown. No one from out of town, because they're all downtown. I've talked to every mayor since Keith Adams about this situation. It's never changed. Talked to the chief of police, city manager. It's never changed. And my taxes are going up. And I don't mind paying them if something changes. I don't mind paying them. But if my taxes are going to go up and that doesn't ever change, why should we have something new down there and my taxes go up in a situation where I ain't going to ever change?
Your point about having a safe environment
Right.
is important. If you recall, we talked about a safety assessment. That's something not only should these efforts not impact negatively safety, but it's important to make sure that there is a safety plan. And the city has been very proactive in working with us to address those issues of how things with people. Those things don't always cost money either. Some of it's the changing in routes, some of it's high-profile vehicles, any number of things. In Waco, because that was a concern there, we created a management district, public improvement district, actually. We also had a downtown merchants association that was created. And one of the things I've heard in some of the comments is, it's another organization, another layer. In Sugar Land, when we did Town Square, we had the 4A, the 4B, the LGC, the city, and the Turks for 32 acres. Each one of them had a focus, each one of them had a purpose, each one of them was necessary to make the project work. In Waco, we had a Turks, we had a Downtown Merchants Association, we had a PID. Each one of those had a purpose and addressed some of the public safety issues. There's a sign when we came in here that it was written in this school. It said, if not now, when?
If not you, who?
If not you, who?
It's on your way out when you see if you work out.
And I would add, as you look at the deterioration, what are your other options? How do you address? I can't speak. Taxes have two components: how you value it and what your rates are. Okay? I got my statement last week when I got home. My CAD jumped my property values 25% in this economy. I'm going to argue with them till the cows come home, and I'm going to provide information. And you should too. It needs to reflect market value. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is having a place for people to work, shop, play, live, invest, learn in a safe environment. And when I was in North Dakota, there was a little mayor in a small town that said, somebody was complaining about the same thing. I've seen the problems associated with decline, and I've seen the problems associated with growth. I'll take the problems with growth anytime. Because decline means I have more problems and less revenue to do it with. And like it or not, this infrastructure is going to be here, folks. And if you don't do something to create the values that can help sustain itself, it becomes a drain on the rest of the community even more. So the question is not that you do nothing. It's what do you do to create a safe environment? How do you get involved? How do we all get involved? And the commissioner mentioned that there's a number of decisions that have been made. I would put it to you that we're reaching out, and this is what this discussion is. And we appreciate that people don't share the same view. That's how this project gets done and how it comes together in a proper fashion. Please.
I'd like to, you remember the aerial that I showed? And, what you're talking about, I live downtown too, and there's all kinds of really interesting people in the alley, and so I've seen the same kinds of things. And, when you spend 40 years tearing down your downtown, and that's what's happened. Since the 60s, we've spent about 40 years tearing down our downtown. That's what happens. And that's not going to change overnight, but I think, we're working very, very hard to bring together that public-private partnership to make that change. And yes, there's things that you can do to kind of address, issues here or there, vagrants or trash or whatever, and I think we need to focus on that. But from the bigger standpoint, we have to invest in our downtown. That 2% growth, that tearing down of downtown is why we're at where we're at. It's why we have the issues. People tend to focus on vagrants or homeless. That's just the symptom. It's really not, carting them off to somewhere else just makes it somebody else's problem. So we have to invest in our downtown, and that's what we're trying to do.
Jenny, and I'm sorry, I can't read your last name, starts with an H. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
right here at this school, by the way.
Well, Jenny was clear. It was examined that I didn't get.
Okay, this might be, this side of town, this is like this marine, we don't want to get down by the way. The first time I came to this school, when I went in, they go down and build this. This might be the Wares, Deborah McCart, her husband, her brother Greg Mitchell, her cousin Jim Sims, and many other rich people are the ones that are going to get richer from our tax money. It's just going to put poor people deeper in debt. My taxes from time, I bought my house 12 blocks from downtown, 1540 South Pierce, and from 99 till the year 2006, the value stayed at $24,000. From 2006 to 2011, it jumped up to $55,000. The market value is 128%. Damn, it's like a Beverly Hills or something. All that stuff downtown, what's this going to do on this side over here? You got two problems out there. That money could be spent curbing them problems called drugs and prostitution. So we had halfway house for the prostitutes, you could do something about that problem. If we had more officers, you could do something about the drug dealers. I don't know. Maybe there's some money going around or something. I can drive around, I can spot a crack house like that. How come they're still there? I don't know. And today's paper said they run off and short. Instead of spending money on buildings and making lights downtown, make downtown look pretty, why don't you spend it for more officers? Thank you.
Thank you for your opinion.
I just have a quick comment about, and I think your point as to what's happening outside of downtown is a very good point. Downtown decline, it can be like a cancer. And if you don't address the core of that cancer, it grows. And I think we've seen some of that over the years where the decline of downtown has affected the neighborhoods around it. It doesn't just, there's not an imaginary line around downtown that stops that decline. And so really, if you look at any city, when cities improve their downtown, the neighborhoods like this and surrounding the central cities of those areas go up as well.
Kathy Olson.
Well, I have a question on the ballpark also. What is the current ballpark attendance? Like how much do they average per game?
3,400?
32,
3,400, I think is what I read.
approximately.
Really? Because I've been to the games and that's surprising.
That's what they report. I can actually tell you what it is.
You get average about 27,100. And big nights you call like the 4th of July Memorial, the chicken, they don't get the average about 7,000.
Yes, they do, but on those nights, it's like when some business sponsored it and get it free. I've been to those also when the whole family gets in free at those particular nights that are the big ones. But anyway, I was wondering how you come up with your 4,500 seat stadium and how you're going to fill it. And, if you're going to have it for baseball for a certain amount of times, they couldn't pay the rent at the current one on what we're saying was their attendance. So how do we think we're going to fill a 4,500 one? And then, how many conventions can you have? up. To me, I don't know where you got that number, and, you know, are we gonna be then stuck with a facility that the operating costs are gonna be more than we're gonna be able to take in on?
Certainly. Very good questions, ma'am. The information that you're seeking, rather than quote you figures off the top of my head, I would tell you that the entire study that was done by a company called Convention Sports and Leisure can be downloaded off of the Downtown Amarillo Inc.'s website. It is a conservative assessment that has looks at the independent leagues. It gives you some of the comparison on costs of ballpark. It gives you example of some of the leagues. It talks about some of the revenue sources that typically go into it and what can be brought to the table privately. It is a starting point. From there, you work with the operators to refine those numbers based on some additional market work. You look at the scope. The current stadium was built in the 50s. It does not have any of the current amenities that are common in ballparks, which draw more than those that are presently like that. The ballpark presently as it exists was a wonderful stadium for its day. It is different than what is used today, like so many things. And there's a difference in attendance, there's a difference in sponsorship revenue, there's a difference in a number of things that come with those types of activity centers. The new ones, if you take a look at whether it's Grand Prairie or Whataburger Field, to use both a independent and a affiliated example, they will have cafes in the outfield. They will have things like pools or climbing walls or activity centers, a variety of things for people of all ages to come and do. In Round Rock, they have meeting space to where they hold corporate events. In Frisco, they have a variety of club seating. So they have a variety of things. They focus on different elements in the marketplace to do more than just baseball. And I'm not doing it justice. I will tell you that there's some information on on that study to help answer some of your questions. And that's why if we had an answer today to tell you exactly what was cost and what the revenue streams on how we project it to go forward, exactly right now, I would give them to you. But that's the information we have at this point.
And the website again?
Downtown Amarillo.
.com.
All one word, downtownamarillo.com.